Hello Leo, and welcome to your weekly reading. Okay, so there's a lot of big energies happening, intense energies. We're just coming out of the full moon in Capricorn, where there is a potential to make some sort of transformational shift and change, because that full moon in Capricorn is working with Pluto, the planet of the underworld. So this is something that you could potentially be making, and it is a Saturn-ruled full moon. So Saturn is in Aquarius at this moment in time, and so Saturn is opposing your sign, Leo. So it is challenging you. Whenever it's your opposite energy, it brings a challenge, and if you can overcome that, then it can bring the transformation that is needed. But the Saturn energy in Aquarius is wanting you to either think to rework the boundaries and structures in your life in order to kind of do something that is going to be bigger and better. Or just better in general. This is your little message that's coming through as just a little, it's going to start this reading. It will be an overall message that we might come back to. And it says, I'm deeply fulfilled by all that I do. Each moment of the day is special to me as I follow my higher instincts and listen to my heart. I am at peace with my world and affairs. Beautiful. I'm going to put that as a little offering, as a little message for you this week, Leo, because, I do feel like this is one of the things that full moon working with Pluto is potentially going to be looking at a deep truth of fulfillment. What is fulfilling you? What isn't? And what sort of choices have you got around that in terms of making some changes and transforming and bringing some success into that? So beautiful. As the situation, we've got the Queen of Shells, peace and compassion. Beautiful. This is the equivalent of the Queen of Cups. I love this. I mean, look how happy that beautiful seal is there, just basking in the sunshine, looking after itself, going, this is me, this is my place, this is where I feel really good. So this is what you're working on this week, to find that energy and connect with it. And where can you give yourself love and compassion where it feels like, okay, I haven't connected with something deeply fulfilling, or maybe I haven't deeply fulfilled a dream as yet at this moment in time. And so where can I sit myself and put something where instead of being hard on myself, I put that energy into my heart, allow love and compassion to work with it so that it can be transformed. So this Queen of Shells, it's beautiful. Like I said, it is a Cancer energy, and this full moon is in Capricorn, and Cancer is the opposite sign of Capricorn. So you're kind of dealing with a lot of opposite energy and polarity, and opposite energies don't necessarily mean a clash. It just means you have to meet them halfway and find the balance. And when balance is being restored, that's actually when things can start feeling good again. And so that's part of what it is the Capricorn energy is the bigger picture of the outside world. How is this affecting you? But then we're coming back into that internal space of where you're feeling emotionally safe with this Queen of Shells energy as well. So, and asking, am I feeling this? How can I bring in this sense of I'm happy to go out to the world and take on things in the world, no matter how difficult? And sometimes you have your good days and your bad days, but I always need to come back and replenish myself in some way so that I have the energy to go back out and take it all on. And so, this energy of being deeply fulfilled is something that's coming up as just being gentle with yourself. With the Queen of Shells coming in, this is very much like I kind of got, you might be dealing with people who are like, it feels like opposite energy, like somebody that might oppose you or somebody that has a differing opinion or just feels very different to you. This is where you can kind of work with this energy to meet them halfway as well, which is interesting as well. But what's shifting this week is Wand, Princess, Fire, Palace. Okay, so this is the things that inspire you. This is your spark in the world. This is the things that you want to start and really get really excited about. So this is potentially where the universe is saying, go deep within, connect into those places where you feel, really look after yourself. Like the Queen of Shells, do something nice for yourself, pamper yourself, nurture yourself, look after yourself. You need to be your own mother at this stage, this own energy. Like, how well can you mother yourself, or have you been taught to do that? Because it's wanting to bring more of that in. And this is where they're wanting you to nurture this energy, this spark inside of you, this idea, this inspiration, this thing, this passion that can be coming in and can be transformed, and it can be deeply fulfilling. So it's actually a really beautiful, deep energy that you're working with here, Leo, which is actually really lovely. But like I said, you do have to go into those spaces. It does challenge you to look at where you haven't been fulfilled, or you haven't been looking after yourself, or you haven't felt that spark for a while. Or you haven't developed something for whatever reason. You know, this is the Wand Princess. Actually, interestingly, the image I got was writing. So for some of you, this is some sort of creative writing project. Before the reading, I was getting writing, but even writing things down, writing ideas, even getting some of the junk, like the morning pages from Julia Cameron's The Artist's Way, could be something really great that you could do. Even writing some how you're feeling about some things. Writing could be a really good process for you. Here it comes, the Ace of Wands. Okay, I love it. So this is where you're activating something new. The Capricorn energy is also about setting goals. It loves to set goals, and it likes to set goals that you can build gradually over time. So it's wanting you to connect back to something and initiate action with something, the Ace of Wands. But the Eight of Swords, here comes that Saturnian energy, where you felt it really like, you know, every time you try and start something, it feels like there's restrictions around it. Perhaps there's been limited ways of thinking about starting this. So it's about asking that, why has this kind of felt restricted or hasn't been able to get off the ground, or why has this got this Eight of Swords around it, which feels like there's limitations or restrictions around it. So the Page of Swords is, come up with, be open and curious, come up with some new ideas, or be open to what information's coming to you at this time. Especially online with the Page of Swords, because this is where, you know, the universe is kind of giving you, this can come in so many different ways. Information can land to you in conversations. It can be something you're seeing online, social media. It can just be you're reading something in the news and you go, okay, that's kind of getting me thinking outside the box, thinking outside the square. And that's kind of what Saturn, it's kind of interesting because you're working with two different things. This Saturn in Capricorn, which is Saturn rules Capricorn, it's the full moon energy coming up. So that's all about the rules that we've worked out work in life, the established rules, and working out how you can work within that and what works and how you can build structures around that. But interestingly, Saturn is in Aquarius at this moment in time in the sky. So Saturn in Aquarius is quite literally like this, wanting to think outside of the box. Capricorn's thinking inside the box, what works. Aquarius is like, okay. That's why it's kind of, you know, Aquarius energy can be revolutionary, it can be progressive, it can be, thinking very forward, future orientated, very future focused. So it can be scientific as well, because there can be a process to it. There still is a structure. So it's still logically going through something, but it's thinking outside of the box. And so this is where you've been challenged to think outside the way that you've been thinking around this thing that represents this fire, this spark that you're wanting to bring in, this inspiration. So it could be something to do with creativity as well. It can be passion within a relationship. It can just be, you know, that spark of life as well. So here we have the Judgment energy coming through. So this is where you're getting messages, not only from the Page of Swords as messages just in your ordinary world, not that your world is ordinary, but just from the general 3D world, you know, it's messages coming in from all sorts of, through your mind, whereas the Judgment energy is message coming in from Spirit. Spirit is calling you here saying, hey, Leo, there's things to be cleared up and out, some old energies that you need to process and move through. There's a review process because you're in this stage where you're moving from an old energy into a new energy, and you're just in this review stage, but that new energy is calling you, and it's saying, calling, listen to the messages that you're getting here from both Spirit and through the human world. And this is wanting to break you free. So it can be transformational here. And then we've got the Justice energy. So this is where the Justice energy can be around commitments. It can be around contracts in your life, things that, you know, it is around, we can see the scales of justice here. It can be about legalities as well. So for some of you, this is a legal decision that's coming through that potentially maybe there's been delays around it with the Eight of Swords, or maybe it's been restrictions around it, or for some whatever reason there could be some sort of message or breakthrough that comes through around that, if that is something that you're waiting for. And obviously, no, it's not going to be everybody, but the Justice is looking at the contracts in your life, particularly about how fair they've been. And it does take quite an impartial energy. So that's the other thing with the Aquarius energy, is it's quite detached. The Justice energy is about Libra. So it is about wanting to bring fairness between you and another person, or you and another energy, and to create an equilibrium where something's been really out of balance. And we can see that with this Eight of Swords. And this is, like I said, something that has felt really restricted. So the Justice energy is wanting to bring something back into harmony and balance. And it's more of an official energy when Justice comes in, because it's like sign on the dot, or it's some sort of, it can be a legal contract that comes through, or it can be an agreement of something that you've agreed to do, or it can be something that you agree with somebody else has agreed to do that hasn't been fair. It's bringing whatever that is back into some kind of, or wants to bring that into some kind of alignment, which is really great. And yeah, just noticing at the base, we've got the Nine of Cups again, which is the card of fulfillment, wanting things to line up to bring in that deep fulfillment. And what is it that's truly deeply fulfilling you here? And where have you not been able to, for whatever reason, step into that? So yeah, interesting with the Justice energy. And I kind of get this is also can be a very fated energy related to soul contracts coming through as well. Here's the eagle, okay, the message from Spirit coming through. So interestingly, the soul contracts can be things that you've agreed to do in this lifetime, and perhaps there's something that's calling you saying it's time to activate this, it's time to step into this. Is it time? And you potentially, like I said, got to think out of the box as to how to bring this in. But the eagle energy, the eagle flies higher than the sun. The eagle represents clarity of divine wisdom, spiritual knowledge. It can be shamanic energy for some of you that are dealing with that, working with that kind of energy as well. And it flies higher than the sun. The sun rules Leo. So it's saying this is an energy above you, an energy that is kind of potentially at a higher vibration, an energy of spirit that is wanting you to connect in out of an ego-based energy. If the sun represents your ego, it's saying there's a message that's outside of that, which is helping you move forward here. And so this is saying there's something really extraordinary here that the universe is calling you into. And it's kind of it's about how easy or hard it is to look at where you potentially have been thinking restricted thoughts. There's been limited ways of thinking. What's been going on inside of your mind here? So have you been holding yourself back with self-sabotage, or, kind of always doing something the same way and then thinking maybe there's a different way to do it? So the Page of Swords can sometimes represent also study. Like it's like, okay, well, maybe I don't actually have the abilities or skills to do this. Maybe I have to go and do some kind of course or online course or short course, or it can be any kind of study. I need to learn more about this. So yeah, I mean, this is saying there's huge potential here. The universe is calling you. So listen to those messages. And yeah, it does feel like it's wanting to lift something up out of the ashes now. They're showing me like this kind of phoenix rising energy with this, which is really fantastic. So it feels exciting. Tap back into that beautiful heart of yours, Leo. Listen to what that is. The Queen of Shells is saying, nurture this, look after this, whatever this spark is, this thing that you really want to be bringing in, and then apply your logic, mental logic. It's a detached energy, like I said, with that Aquarian energy. It's like, okay, this is what I want to do. Now I'm going to come over here and step out of the situation, apply that detached logic and say, what can I do here? What is needed here to bring some structures to make something start working better? And that's the weekly reading. So that's it, Leo. Ultimately wanting to connect you to something very beautiful that is deeply fulfilling for you. So, and it's time to start time for this to develop, whatever it is. So that's it, Leo. Thank you so much for joining me. Please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. And like I said, this energy with the Pluto energy, it can be deeply transformative. There's an opportunity here to transform potentially a dream or a passion in your life. So that's it, Leo. Please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and look forward to seeing you next time.